Hello friendly faces and welcome to another video. We'll start this week with tidying up plants by removing the old and dying foliage. This will help with slug control by removing a food source for them. Cleaning up plant debris is the one thing that slugs are useful for, but the plant debris also attracts the slugs to the healthy plants, so it does need to be removed if possible. So although of course you're not going to stop them, they will eat most vegetation, it helps a little bit. Removing the old foliage will also make the plant look more presentable, and it will divert the plant's energy into more useful leaves. The old leaves can be snapped off by hand. From mid-June onwards, onions can start to be harvested, and when they have been, they'll need to be dried for a few days, as this will help them to store better. Here, some shallots are on a rack that allows air to circulate all around, helping to quicken the drying process. When they have been cleared away, the area where they were grown can be reused. This large grow bag is being top dressed with some fresh compost. The compost is made from a peat alternative and farmyard manure and is worked into all the corners. And two varieties of hearting lettuce, Little Gem and No Jobis, are to be planted. Once the compost has been worked all around the bag, next thing to do is get a watering can and give the compost a really good soak. What this does, it helps the plants to settle better. If they were planted into dry compost and then watered, they would rise up and not be planted so firmly. After this has been done, you get a dibber. This can be a specially made tool like this one, or it can be a stick, or even your hands. And then make your planting rows, and then get the lettuce, pop them in the holes, and then just throw them in by hand. You keep doing this until you've worked your way all across the bag. Once you've worked your way across, they can be left to grow on for 4 to 5 weeks to make fully formed heads of lettuce, or you can pick individual leaves to use in the salads. Plants are starting to grow rapidly at this time of year, and these tomatoes that were planted up last week need tying in to their supporting canes. The way to do this is to get some twine and make a figure of 8 around the plant stem and around the cane, making sure that you tie the knot onto the cane so as not to damage the plant stem. You will also need to continue to deadhead faded blooms. This rose has again suffered from a heavy downpour, with some buds failing to open properly, so they need to be removed, otherwise they will become a site for infection by disease. And the way to deadhead a rose is to get the stem, go down it until you find the first leaf that has 5 leaflets on it, and then give it a sloping cut away from the bud. Any plants that have finished flowering completely or have been blown over in the wind and can't be rescued can be cut back, such as this foxglove. Cutting the stem back to ground level just to tidy the plant up and leave some leaves. So this plant is called Spotty Totty. It's from North America. It likes moist shade, and in a few weeks it's going to have red tubular flowers. So these faded blooms from the red hot poker plant are starting to spoil the border, so they need to go. Fairly shortly they'll be followed by the Veronicas here. Both of these though will be replaced by this plant, Hemeracalis, or the daylily. The flowers last one day and then they'll die. Then after them, buried in there, is a dahlia that's going to be coming up soon. I hope that was useful. And remember, leave any questions below. I'll send them to Leslie. Bye, and see you next week.